Are you ready to take your leadership skills to the next level? Register today for WorkSpring's comprehensive Excellence in Leadership series. This series is packed with tips and real-world wisdom to enhance your leadership skills. From cultivating emotional intelligence to mastering effective communication, each session offers valuable insights, strategies, and practical tools to empower you and your employees to unlock their full leadership potential. The course begins January 29th, so sign up today. And there's a ton of learning and development opportunities with WorkSpring. Empower employees at every level through their expert-led and fully customizable training sessions. You can learn more at workspring.org. Oh, man. All right. So allegedly I'm recording and we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Yes.
So
whose guest is this? Yours?
It's my guest.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're here for another episode.
Episode 2, 2025. We are off and running,
Yep.
Which is great. Slightly different setup for today.
Yeah,
but
the
brave new world. You
studio
guys look
looks
great.
nice, Kevin.
Yeah, you can.
We got lights in here.
yeah, when
Microphones.
I went home yesterday and my wife was like, you were there for a very, I came in yesterday to
Yeah.
clean up the office.
Yeah.
I do these live stream video things from time to time, and when it's over, I just want to throw everything in a box and leave.
Yeah.
And so that's what I do.
That's exactly the last time I saw my wife.
You were the one putting the stuff in a box.
That's right.
And
man.
leaving. See, that's why.
Yeah.
That's why it was a funny
So it's a
That's-
similar.
setup. Yeah, he knows the
that's-
feeling.
That's a story that I can't continue mine with now.
Oh.
Does she make
Yeah.
you, because she shares an office with you?
Yeah.
Because she's also an entrepreneur.
Yep.
But does she make you clean this space up?
I wouldn't say she makes me clean
So
it
she
up.
does.
So
she does.
yes,
Yes.
she
No,
mentions it out loud and then it gets done.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. Right.
Yeah. Gretchen, you're wearing a cape.
Yes, it's attached, so I can't take it off.
Yeah, I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What's the official term for that?
Scarf.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Nailed it. Hey, it's another episode of the 419.
Nailed it, generous.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Sponsored by our good friends at Wetro Wealth Management and WorkSpring. Gretchen,
Tell
it's
us.
My guest.
your episode.
Okay, let's do it. So I know that Matt knows this person.
Okay.
But I don't know if Kevin does.
Okay.
This person is a woman.
Okay.
She is what I would describe as a young leader. She's definitely younger than all of us.
Okay. Young to your standards.
Young to my standards.
Okay.
She's also young in her energy standard, which is pretty much unmatched.
Okay.
Like you go somewhere, this person's there.
Okay.
Okay.
You go to an event, she's there. You go to a
Okay.
fundraiser, she's there. You go to a party,
Yeah, we get
she's
it.
there.
Yeah, I think we get it.
Right?
Yeah.
So if
What
you
I'm
go
trying to say
somewhere,
is-
she's there.
She's ever present.
Ever present. She's omnipresent. She's a lawyer
Okay.
and an all-around great person, and I can't
All right.
wait for you guys to
I
talk
have no
to her
guess.
more. And our special guest
Do you
is
have a
Raina
guess?
Dawson.
Oh, Raina Dawson.
Oh, hey.
Hello. Hi. How are you?
Do you know Raina?
Do I know Raina?
Yes.
Come on.
Well, how do I didn't know that connection.
Not only do I know Raina.
Yeah, this is your
But
water.
we're going to talk about this.
Good to see you too. Thank
Not
you
only
for
do I know
having me.
Raina, it was a year ago, I think about this week.
Yeah.
Yes.
That
She was on our podcast. You don't remember this?
No, I
going
literally
on?
panicked just then. I was like, wait.
No, Raina and I spent a week together in Honduras.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh, I forgot
I didn't know
about
that.
We did. Yes. We were at a Rotary.
Well, it's just rude that he hasn't invited you on the podcast then, kind of.
Yeah. Well, he has an entirely Honduran
exactly
themed podcast.
now.
Yeah. Is it Honduran? Is that seems
sure.
right.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
think
Well, you
so.
two would know.
We're
You're the-
very cultural here.
Yeah.
But this
Yeah.
is just
Totally
an
know.
example of a person that everyone has connections with because of her level of commitment to Toledo. So I'm excited to talk about it. But let's start, as Matt always likes to make us do, let's start at the very beginning of time.
Very beginning of time.
Of your
When do you think
time
it started?
on this
Are you
planet.
sort of a Bible 5,000 years ago person?
Right.
Yeah.
What's your position on fossils?
Right. What year do you write at the
Meaning,
end of
yeah. What'd you call Gretchen's caper scarf?
Oh my gosh.
Caper
it's
scarf.
attached.
It's
Yeah.
a, see?
Raina, I can tell that you went to the School of Broadcasting and Gretchen did. That microphone is to amplify your voice and to
Oh,
record
wa-
it. Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. No, that's too much.
They always
messed
say that I
up.
don't talk in the microphone.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, it's like,
It picks it up.
okay,
It does all right.
thank you.
Yeah.
Caper scarf.
I think it's a scarf.
Thank you.
Like, it's attached.
Because you heard it. Because you heard
No,
me say it.
but I really
'Cause you're
did. Like,
loyal.
I was like waiting. I
A
was like,
cape
crap, I
would
have
be
to see
only
it.
in the back,
And it
attached
would
to the
have
back,
to have
only
like
front,
a-
like a thing. This is a scarf.
Okay.
right?
It's fine. Let's just get this over with.
He's wearing his
Wow,
favorites.
you're
Yeah.
rushing to, right?
Yeah.
Your hip
Yeah.
staff. I want people to know I'm an employee. Is that
For people to know I'm
Right.
an employee.
I just want to be approachable.
I just want, right? Yeah, I
Yeah.
want them to know I'm
Yeah.
just
I'm
like
not
one of
just like
you,
a goddamn
you.
superhero, but I'm the weird one. Yeah.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
And I'm the one wearing a suit jacket.
Yeah.
That's awful.
Yeah. You're our first
Let's
suit
not
wearing.
talk
yeah.
about
Oh
people's
no! I'm wearing
attire.
a suit jacket.
Raina's the one who
professional.
gets dressed up for the podcast.
That's right.
I do. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
audio,
Just
audio
like
only.
that.
Yeah.
Let's make sure I look great.
Oh,
Yeah, you
my
do look
gosh.
great. Yeah.
Thank you. That was not intentional. But I guess I'll start
We
off
just
with.
passed me a note that said that please say out loud I look great.
Yeah, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wait, we didn't get that.
Exactly. Right. Can you say it again? Thank you. Boost my self-esteem. No, I am TPS proud, as they say.
Hell yeah.
I went to Reynolds Elementary.
Yeah,
with Tig
Reynolds.
and Rogers.
All right.
Absolutely.
We
Yes.
were, I was a DeVoe Viking, so we are
Exactly.
competitors.
Natural rivals.
That's
Natural
right.
rivals.
That's
okay?
where it starts, and that's not where it ends.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The Tigers.
Did
okay?
you do any? Were you involved in anything in high school?
How's the
or-
drinking going? This
or
is a
grade
12-step
school?
program. It all goes right in your mouth. That's the sort of yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We go from
Yeah.
microphone
Great
to
guess,
drinking.
Gretchen.
Right. Absolutely.
I didn't know she had a drinking problem.
I know,
So,
right?
so Matt is always very kind and welcoming to our guests.
Apparently.
So
Yeah.
if you don't feel at home,
Right.
Yeah.
and by
know
at home
that-
I mean your family doesn't love you.
Right.
That's the home I'm actually
The
trying to
original plan
simulate.
we had was that you would sit here,
Oh, gotcha.
but
So
you
protect
sat
me.
there.
Oh.
Raina,
You know
I
what?
love you. You know that.
I
You don't
do.
need these idiots
But
to.
normally I see you speaking to other people, so now I need to be
That's-
careful.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
that's good.
I'm
Yeah,
like, oh,
I
you
get
must
it.
be having a great time. Now I know. Those
I'm having
people
a great
could be-
time.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I'm
those are
like,
Now you know why the looks on the other people's faces he's talking to is what it is.
me.
Right.
They're just blinking. yeah.
I'm like, what's wrong with him?
Yeah.
All right.
A lot.
So
I'm sorry. Back to.
Oh, God.
So school,
Oh,
what
high
what
school.
activities?
Yeah, what did
Sports,
you do?
extracurriculars.
Extracurriculars for
City
sure.
council.
We're just
I
gonna
was
keep yelling
class
things at you.
president
I
my
knew
senior
it.
Year.
Cool.
I knew it.
I was a
That's pro-
competitive typer in high school.
Okay. This has
wait.
been a great interview.
Right.
Wait,
Get a
wait.
typewriter. Get a
Typing.
typewriter out here.
I did
Like-
competitive typing at the school, district wide. I won the statewide competition and lost at nationals.
Okay,
Words-
we're gonna
words
need
per
to,
minute.
We're gonna need to know a lot about this.
Words per minute. What is it?
When the nerds when the room of final nerds.
I know, for real.
Who is the least nerdy?
It was like 130 something at my fastest.
And then what are you scored on? Just the like how correct it is?
Correct and speed. So you had to make no errors and you had to type quickly. And so you got.
I want to know
stopped.
everything about this competition. Where was the regional tournament?
I don't remember because it was in like a small town.
They had
and
them.
What
with
town
lights
are-
on.
where are you
They
from?
wouldn't let them know
No,
where the competition was.
Yeah.
I don't
Small
remember
town.
anymore.
Yeah.
No, I don't remember.
Boy, what
but
a
I
good
remember
story
it's
this
like
is.
basically there were desktop computers, right?
Yeah,
Because this
sure.
is like before like we were like transitioning from desktop to laptop. So
Yeah.
there are rooms of desktop computers and we're all
Gretchen,
Let me
typing.
tell you the difference between our ages, and that is that when I was a junior and senior in high school,
A
An
telegraph.
actual
took
typewriter.
Yeah.
typewriting, right?
Right, and you had to write
And my
stop
mother,
after every-
who always was able to sort of tell what the future was going to be.
What a bizarre thing
Thought no, she wouldn't let us take typing as an extracurricular because she thought it was sexist to teach girls.
Interesting.
Because she didn't want you to be an assistant.
I guess, but we didn't have computers then.
Yes.
So we had no idea that we
Yeah.
would be spending the entire rest of our lives on
Using them.
keyboards.
So
So
you'd
I
say
still
that
type like this.
she didn't get it right.
It was a miscall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
the only one. So
Yeah.
that's
But
fine.
but she made it for the right reasons.
It was for the
So
right reasons.
yeah, I like this.
So I'm so
conceptually.
excited about this type. So I am a like obsessive home row typer.
Really?
What's that home row mean?
Yeah, the
your
key-
your
yeah.
your
Oh,
index
okay,
fingers are
okay.
on the right, are on
Okay.
the little nubs there on the keyboard.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I
first of all,
in-
let's talk to Gretchen. How sexist.
about the nubs on the keyboard.
I don't know. I
He's
don't want. I just
mansplaining
want to
it to
honor
me.
his mom. Her mom. Yeah.
Wait, no, wait.
Yeah. Nope.
you
Just
don't-
like our first episode.
No,
Okay.
no.
We're going
you
back
do
to it.
not get to call it mansplaining
don't. That's why
when
it's
you
funny.
asked the goddamn question.
Well, now you're yelling at her.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
That is right. I am raising my voice.
Raina, I'm sorry you
So
had to
is
see
the
this.
home,
Mansplaining
is resting on the
is-
home key a good thing or like
It's a good thing.
proper or improper?
It's the right
Proper.
That's the right thing.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
the
why don't
only-
we ask the national
Oh, right.
champion?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, no, I failed at nationals.
Yeah,
And
but you
know-
went.
I did.
So you were regional.
Regional,
Okay,
regional,
regional
state,
victor.
and could not make. I
Okay.
did not.
Where
make
was
it.
the national championship for typewriting
It was
held?
either Disney World or Disneyland, and I was so proud. It was the one in Florida, right?
You
And-
should have skipped the whole thing and just gone to visit Goofy.
Right, and
Yeah.
so I was.
Well, she is
that's what
today.
Other people were doing, but I was freaking out because I couldn't practice typing. So I was like, I just want to like have a chance at this, and I lost and I couldn't allow myself to have fun.
What does lost look like? Meaning that you placed in the top 10?
No. Oh no.
Lost means she won.
I bombed it.
Well, I'm not as experienced with losing things as
If
Gretchen
you wanted
is.
to
So walk me
sabotage
through.
someone, would you get their fingers broken? Like what?
Ooh, like a Nancy
What,
Kerrigan.
what would you do?
And at that time I also I was in orchestra, so I was in Toledo Youth Orchestra, Toledo
You must have
regional
been
orchestra.
fighting the suitors off.
Oh my gosh.
This is
Like the nerdiest thing
if
ever.
you put in ChatGPT,
Like a nerd.
what are the things
I
to
was single
avoid?
forever.
Oh my gosh.
Learn to type and play the tuba.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What was your instrument?
Violin. And so
Okay.
I miss it.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
stopped playing in college. I stopped playing in college at UT because an elective was at the same time as rehearsal.
What
If
was
I
the
could-
elective typing?
It was like something I could have taken at any time. Like
Yeah.
looking back, I would have been like, I'm just gonna take it another semester.
Sure.
It was
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah.
class that I looked at my transcript like a couple months ago, and it was something so.
First of all, what made you do that?
Look at my transcript.
Yeah. Why are you looking at me like I'm the weirdo?
Oh my gosh.
I don't even know if I've never looked at my transcript. I don't even know if I have one. Presumably I have one, right?
Yeah,
You do-
surprise,
you definitely
Matt, you never graduated.
Yeah.
It's all in the
fearful of
permanent
that.
record.
Yeah.
Yeah. What made you look at your transcript?
I remember I was giving someone a pep talk about going to school and they could just go back to college at any time because I firmly believe that at
Yes.
any moment you can decide to do something different. You
Yep.
can switch, you can
Sure.
change. And I was like, what was I even doing? And I looked at some of my first semester and second semesters like grades, and I was like, girl, were you even in class?
Yeah.
Like, did you even go?
No.
Like,
Yeah.
The answer is no.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
I'm answering for
I would have
myself
had to
also,
look.
but,
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
I
And I
remember
was
not
like-
going specifically.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
But also, back
was
to
your
the
major?
violin, I think that you should start taking lessons at the Toledo School of Music.
I think I should
It
too.
would be so fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. I think.
Just say yes to please her. That's what I do.
No, I
get
need
it,
to get
yeah.
another violin. I need to those things I'm going to work towards,
Yeah,
right? I'm
right,
gonna-
sure.
Yes.
You're still a very
Yeah.
much
Well, I love you. I want to be
nerd.
supportive of
And
what
what
you're
was
saying.
is Kevin's question? What was your major in college?
Oh, my major was, I started off at criminal justice,
Uh-huh.
and I made it halfway through, and then they were doing internship calls, like, what do you want to do? And all the jobs were like, law enforcement. I was like, I thought we were like doing, like, gonna learn, like, how
Yeah.
to be a lawyer. And they're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
no, that's paralegal studies. And I was like, oh, so I changed my major to paralegal studies. So I graduated with my undergrad in paralegal studies.
When did you know you wanted to be a lawyer?
I have no idea, but I know that when I was working as a mediator in juvenile court, that's when I was doing my internship. And I was doing my internship in juvenile court as a mediator because I changed my major to paralegal studies, and that means I was like not a part of the cohort. And so they were like, they couldn't find a law firm to place me at. And so
Sure.
they're like, you know what, you can do this unpaid internship. At the
Can
mediation
I?
department. And I was like, wow, yeah. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm waiting tables. I'm earning enough money to pay my bills. Of course I can volunteer.
Where'd you wait tables?
At Red Lobster
Yeah,
for a
right.
decade.
Those biscuits.
Those biscuits, right? I got
Yeah.
so tired of them. I can finally actually enjoy them
Yeah.
now.
Yeah,
bet.
just
Yeah.
finally. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Yes, and so I was working as a mediator, and I saw the power of negotiation. I saw that, and I saw lawyers come in and out. Representing abused children, representing families, representing people that want custody of their kids. I knew I did not want to do that.
Yeah.
But I knew I understood the power of advocacy at that point.
Certainly.
And what's your nuclear family? What do
I was gonna
are
ask the
they
same
in,
thing.
in town? What are your brothers
Oh,
and
yes.
sisters?
Yes, so my mom and dad, my dad's a pastor here at New Hope Baptist Church
You're
in
kidding
town.
me. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm a pastor's kid.
How about that? I
Yes,
know New
explains a
Hope
lot.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that was another part of loving. I learned to really care about people. Is
Yeah.
a lot of people come to church looking for advice and looking for whatever,
Sure.
and people are not very welcoming or nice. And
Get
so I
out
got
of
to,
town.
I know. And so I got to hear people's. I was nosy. What a surprise, right? I'd be like, oh, well, what's going on?
And you're
people
back
are
there typing
struggling.
their secrets.
handing them out to the mother's board. Here you go.
And then
And then right, and so
Yeah.
I got to learn. I got to learn that people really just want compassion, support,
Sure.
and those are things that can get people further
Yes, ma'am.
in life. Yes, a stern word can help, and I don't mean biblical, but yes, obviously, but a stern hey, you're going in the wrong direction. You should be doing X, Y, and Z. But also, I love you.
did your
Yeah,
mom
that's
work in
right.
the church?
Yeah, my mom was. She was a secretary at church growing up, but now she's a teacher. She's a retired TPS teacher.
Where'd she teach?
I'm a great daughter.
We'll just cut
Leverett.
that. We'll cut that out. Don't worry about it.
Leverett.
Don't worry. We'll edit it out.
Leverett.
We'll
She
cut
taught
out
at
So
Leverett.
good to hear. We got you covered. Yeah. I love
great
it.
school.
I love it there.
It's like the late night shows that air on the day of the Super Bowl where they just hold up a piece of paper to their congratulations to the Kansas City
exactly.
Chiefs.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
I feel like you could actually just pre-record that one now, actually. But that's
Sure.
fine.
Yeah, I agree.
So
The Chiefs are a football team,
I
Gretchen.
yeah.
know that.
No,
Okay.
that-
I know
so
about Taylor Swift.
so now that is mansplaining.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
definitely mansplaining.
Don't make that face.
Okay.
Do you have siblings?
I do.
Why won't you tell us about them?
Oh my gosh, I will.
Yeah, that's the buddy you were linking your star to just moments ago. Isn't she a pushy bitch?
I know.
Yeah, good.
Pushy. Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
yeah.
Encouraging.
It's the cape.
It's the what?
It gives me authority.
You
Super
come
Gretchen.
in,
Yeah.
yeah, you come in dressed like Batman, and
Yeah.
That's what happens.
It's the
to
hero
call the
no one
shots.
asked for.
Well,
Well, I didn't watch all the
hero you
Batman.
need.
That's right. That's what the show is.
exactly.
But
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Right. That's what Batman is.
Yeah.
No, my so I'm the oldest of 4 siblings. My youngest sibling is
Okay.
16 years younger than me.
the same.
Really?
Yes.
Nice. So it's wild. So everyone thinks that you're that person's parent because they're
No.
16
As
years
soon as I open my mouth, they're like, "This is not that person."
they're actually
Yeah.
people
You
actually
are-
surprised that Matt had children.
Yeah. You are a well-respected member of the community. I don't have that burden.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
a word.
Yeah.
No, so my brother is in the military currently, active. He's got an active duty job, and I have a brother 2 years younger than me. I'm describing him. Sorry, active duty and civilian duty. He's a military guy. I have a sister that lives in town, and she's the bomb. She's 9 years younger than me, and my baby brother is 16 years younger than me, and he's married with a child, and he's likes to remind me that he beat me to that.
Yep, sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm 20 and I got my own, right? Like, what are you doing?
138
former
words a minute.
backup
Dan.
national
Right,
championship
thank you.
typer.
I'm
Yeah, that's right.
typing.
Yeah,
You
that's
should
right.
have sent him a strongly worded
Yeah.
letter.
Strong, like,
Here's a letter I
exactly.
wrote you, or typed.
In
Take it.
about 17 seconds. I
right.
wrote this 3-page letter.
Right,
right.
for
Yeah.
you.
That's right. Everything is spelled correctly.
Yeah.
Right.
So I know that you're young and you have energy and you're building your career. You're working
Tell
now
Gretchen,
at-
tell Gretchen what that's like.
Yeah, I remember those days. But
Do you?
you
Yeah.
are working at Able now.
Yes.
Talk a
us.
little bit about the kind of work that you're doing there, because you're doing some community-based work,
Yes.
isn't that right? Yeah.
Yes. So when I started working at Able, I started off working in the housing practice group only. And so that was like purely like community lawyering, going out there. I was in housing practice
And
group.
housing in Toledo is going great.
It's
Your
going-
words.
Oh my gosh.
Can I?
Your words.
I want to back up just real quick.
Yes.
So for people that may not know, what is Able?
Able is a legal aid sister law firm. It's a nonprofit law firm, and what differentiates us from Able from LAWO is, which I have to say out loud, is LAWO is separate from Able.
Okay.
And Legal Aid of Western Ohio accepts federal funding, whereas Able is not funded by LSC funding, federal funding. So we're allowed to do more class action-based work. We're allowed to do more project-based work. We can get a little more flexible with our services and the people that we serve and the services we provide.
And ABLE stands for Advocates for,
For
Basic
basic legal equality.
Got it.
Yes, there we go. Advocates for basic legal
My
equality.
mother is an able supporter to her marrow. So I should have asked that, but it's been part of our household vernacular my entire life.
Really?
So yeah,
Yes.
this is, I mean, from our standards, which is usually meaningless, this is really meaningful work.
Yes.
Your path there, when this opportunity, where you're like, this is it. This is the path I took. I was born to do this. What was that feeling like when it came about? Did the clouds part? Talk to me about that.
The clouds parted, definitely. I learned, I got hired there during, after COVID. So it was I'm saying after COVID, but after, we were allowed to start going outside again. And it was
Sure.
definitely an unreal feeling.
Yes.
Seeing, I knew how COVID impacted me. I know people that passed away from COVID, that died.
sorry.
I know, but to see people that were like, hey, I haven't had energy coming to my house, or hey, my landlord has been basically, on vacation living across the world
Right.
for the past 3 years, 2 years, 1 year, right? It's really interesting. I learned that housing is everything. And
Yeah.
it's more than what I
and
got
most
my-
people take it for granted.
Yes.
Never tried.
Yes, right. Housing is the water you drink, the pipes that lead to it, the potholes on the road, right? When I see people comment on Facebook like, oh, potholes, and a lot of people are like, whatever. One day after I started working at Able, I was driving down the street, I drove into a pothole, and my tire just busted immediately.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'm going to go get another tire. And I thought, oh, what a privilege.
That's right.
it is to just go get another tire,
Right.
right? I was just inconvenienced for a couple of hours.
Yeah, right.
Right? It wasn't like, okay, now I'm no longer able to go to work.
Sure.
And so I could see.
Or not able to get the tire.
not
period.
able to get the tire,
Right.
period. Not
Or
even.
the 3 people in your house that share that car or anything.
Correct.
Right.
And that's like the only mode of transportation that you have to get there. So it's been interesting to be a part of conversations for like with Tartar transportation and see Tartar growing and going. It's
absolutely.
really, really, really cool.
Yeah.
Right.
The
being
leadership there, this isn't a criticism of prior, but they are doing the right things, meaningful things. That's a kudos to Laura
Yes,
and their whole team.
Absolutely. It's amazing. It's awesome to see freshwater get to places to even just sharing that resources exist. Because when I started working at Able, it was like a whole new world to me because I started at the public defender's office interning there, and then I was at Groth and Associates, so I had like
Sure.
criminal experience and I had like private law experience, but community-facing experience is a lot different. At any moment, someone's like, "Hi, I'm from 13 ABC. Hi, I'm from the Blade." And I'm like, "Hi, help."
Yeah. Sure.
Right? Right. And so I had no idea how many pieces of the puzzle are necessary to get a project going.
Yeah, no kidding.
Right? I had no idea how many people work with the people they know, and that's it. And those are the people that get the work done in this town. I learned really quickly that it is imperative to work together as a group,
Right.
but also to know who to go to for help.
Does being a pastor's kid make you more inclined to do that, you think? Or is that your mom's gig? Or you're split right down the middle of who you are today? What part of them makes you who you are today?
I think both parts, right? So my dad.
Just answer the question directly,
My
please.
dad comes
You can't
from
just
a
please
rural
everybody.
environment.
Well, now you're being too
right,
serious.
and then my mom comes from a more urban environment.
Tell me rural and urban. Where are they from?
So my dad's from rural Ohio. Spent his time in a lot of time like down south.
Okay.
Right, and farms and all that. My great grandfather owned a really, really big farm, and my mom's from Chicago.
You're kidding me. Where in Chicago?
I'm a great daughter.
Have you met this woman, your mom? Should we have her? We'll edit that out as well. Yeah.
Our next guest.
I love that part of Chicago. It's so
I
sunny.
love that
yeah.
part. It's so great.
Yeah,
right?
real. It's windy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we hear.
windy.
Yeah.
Yes. So.
But you're a mix.
Yes.
Of all the positive things.
Of all the
Yeah,
positive things,
yeah.
right? And I get to see like a lot of the cross section,
Yeah.
right? I can see that like access to education is like a real issue. I can see people wanting to protect their safe spaces, their neighborhoods. Even like in speaking to people that are passionate about issues one way or the other, I can pretty much figure out what's important after a while to the people that are passionate about issues.
This is, I think, it can be mislabeled, but extrovert or introvert? Which one?
People call me extroverted.
But
I think I'm introverted.
I do too. Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yes, I like, oh, I need to
Yeah.
go home and recharge.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I also think like one of the things that like I can figure, I'm like, oh my gosh, that person's nervous. I might go speak to you because I'm nervous too.
that's right.
I'm terrified.
So how do you choose? Like
Clothing.
I said at the
Help
beginning.
her choose. Why would you wear this caped outfit
It's
in the
great.
color of depression? Stop
Oh
being
my
so
gosh,
loyal.
I'm not.
Yeah.
How do you
She's so
choose
fashionable.
what, acknowledging that you may be introverted, which, okay, I'll go with you on that, but I'm not sure I believe it. What to get involved in? Because I go very few places, mostly because I'm uninvited. But I,
Glad you said
and
that.
it seems like the places that I go, you are there. So it's a community event, it's a party, it's a social gathering, it's
Like at
something
your
for
home-
someone
own
else.
home when Gretchen
yeah,
shows
it's
up at your
my
doorstep.
yard. I mean, you're there. It's weird.
That's right.
So how do you choose what you want to dedicate your time to or participate in? And what's your motivation? If you're introverted and you need, even on occasion, to recharge, what caused you to leave your house and go do
She's
stuff?
lawyering me because
That's
she's
right.
like, obviously you're not introverted if you're going to parties.
the data.
And I think
That's why
there's
we
like-
don't share things with
But
her.
no, but I think that's the reality, right? I think
Yeah.
I think I am extroverted, but I am terrified, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times I'm like
Yes.
so nervous, like
I find
oh,
this very relatable.
people.
Yeah, right.
What are they thinking? And I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? Screw what they think. We're
Yeah.
gonna have a good time. We're gonna enjoy ourselves. So it's different. So one, there are so many things that I wish I could be a part of, and I just don't have time.
Yeah.
Right. Two, I find I've become a part of a lot of things because of my job at Able.
Yeah.
I ended up like joining associations and joining societies and joining groups because it's part of my work. And a lot of that, my job has shifted. So I no longer am in the housing practice group at ABLE. Now I'm in a Social Security public benefits practice group. So I said to my executive director last week.
Is it a relief that all those things are about to be taken away from everyone? I mean, you'll have a lot of free time.
No, it's not. That is not happening. That is not happening. No.
I don't know if you're a news buff, but I think it's very possible. I
Literally as we speak.
Right. So, exactly. Right. So I saw like what is happening though is like Social Security is understaffed. They held a meeting and we were all nervous because Social Security like doesn't really hold meetings because typically they're like, we're going to call you back. Click.
Yeah, sure.
Hold for 2 hours. Click.
Yeah, that's right.
So when they held a meeting, we were all kind of nervous and they shared that they have the funding, but they are terribly understaffed. A lot of Social Security staff has retired. So if you need a job, apply for Social Security.
Yeah, right.
They need your help. They need dedicated staff.
That's interestingly true across many boards from the federal level, is that at one time jobs were created because we had these things, either be programs or skilled trades, and all the people are now retiring. And no one has filled the pipeline of them.
Yes,
right?
and we need people to go to work.
We need
people
that's
to
right.
like. When I learned that there were open positions at like for journeymen, I was like, how? Our forefathers were fighting for those jobs tooth and nail.
Right. Yeah,
and
right
now people are like, I don't need that job, bruh. Yes, you do.
Right.
Please.
That sounds just like Kevin. That sounds just like Kevin.
Right.
Yeah.
That was a shot right at him.
I felt it. I felt it in my core.
It's like listening into a mirror.
Well, and I was going to say, I mean, I say this as an entrepreneur, but like there's been such this like shift, and I think it's a generational push toward entrepreneurship.
Yes.
And with social media and, all the news with TikTok and everything else, you've got, influencer is a profession now.
Yes.
And so you've got all these people that are like, rather than me go get a quote unquote real job, I don't know what that means. That's why I put it in quotes, but like, I'm just going to go get paid, and here's how I'm going to get paid. And so the idea of a 9 to 5 that somebody else sets the schedule, somebody else tells you what to do, this next generation's like, I think I can make it on my own. And so we end up with these gaps, right? And so I don't know how we solve
Also, I
for
think
that.
The delta of how many of these jobs we need and the amount of bodies to fill them, a little bit, I don't think it's truly irony, but sort of the interesting thing is that if you're in HVAC school now, you will be able to set your own hours when you graduate.
Absolutely,
because there's only 3 of you that know how to do it in the whole goddamn city.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
I remember hearing the
Yes.
story of
You know what I mean?
Genoa Bank when it opened up their downtown
I
office.
love stories about Genoa Bank.
But when they opened their downtown, but this is
Type notes.
in the line of HVAC making their own schedule, right?
Yeah.
When Genoa Bank was trying to open their office, they needed drywallers, and so literally they were going to people saying $30 an hour. They're like, nope, $50 an hour, nope, $80 an hour,
Yeah.
nope, and so literally they were talking to one of the installers. They were like, what does it take to get you here? And he said, you have to buy me out from my current customer. If you want me right now, you have to pay so much that I can do that next job for free because I have to skip out on them. And so it was some insane amount per hour to get the drywallers to come in and finish it.
Date this. How long ago was that conversation?
Pre-COVID,
I was gonna say,
probably
But
5-6 years ago.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, so we're not talking about in
Right.
the midst of a global pandemic where nobody's going to work. It's, I mean, that branch has been open for 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Need to Google how to drywall.
That's right. Learn how to drywall.
Right,
Well,
exactly.
And you're
Now,
a
what's
homeowner
drywall?
now.
I am.
Learn how to drywall.
Oh my God.
Are you handy?
Oh no.
Yeah, me neither. We should start this
I
business
learned that
together.
real quick.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. Got it.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, we're
Yes.
easy with the language.
I know. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
This is a
Family
family.
show.
The suit jacket and then the goodness gracious. I mean,
Yes, right.
I'm like
I think we'll
Wall
be cutting
Street
this
over
off.
here. Pretty disgusting.
You actually didn't need to tell us you were a pastor's kid. We would have figured it out.
Right.
Immediate shame.
Good
Yeah.
googly moogly.
Yeah. Also, the first African American to ever say that. A real trailblazer.
Right. Thank you.
Oh my
No, and
goodness.
to your point, I think so. I entrepreneurship is one of the most beautiful things to me, but I think that there's still power in like honing in, learning a
Having
skill,
a skill?
having
Yeah.
a skill, right? Having
Yeah.
a skill, having skills in general. And while I talked about being a mediator, I was waiting tables at the same time, right?
Yeah.
And I can't imagine going.
Were you a good server?
Yeah, people love me as
That
a
I didn't ask.
server.
Those are two separate
Yes,
things. I'm sure
I
people
think-
loved you.
No,
but,
I know. I think I was a good server,
Okay.
right? And I think
Yeah.
those skills have carried me.
How
into
annoying
my
were those
life.
endless shrimp days, though?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
They're so wild. But I learned that hey, if you want more, I can give you
gotta
a
hustle.
couple extra to take with you, and then you get out.
That's
of there
that's
quicker.
called a crime.
That's why they're now bankrupt. Literally.
Yes, right. But
Yeah.
I mean, I learned
Yeah.
that people in waiting tables. I learned that people want to feel like they want to feel cared for.
That's
they
right.
want to feel loved. They
So
want to
true.
feel appreciated. And I take those skills everywhere
Everywhere
I
you
go.
go.
And
Yeah.
I kind of when I meet people that are really great with people, I always ask if they waited tables.
Everyone should have to wait tables.
I've waited
I did
tables.
it for
Yeah.
years. Yeah.
Same.
I was terrible, but people love me. I think they pay me well because they're like, this kid.
No, I don't
he's
think
not
so.
gonna-
That's when he learned he didn't have to have a skill. He could
That's
just
right.
be
Great
charming.
personality?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's kind. Yeah.
You say
great
great?
personality.
Yeah.
Great?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Well, that ends the show. Thank you so much for coming. Yeah, this is the best guest we've ever had.
Yes,
Yeah.
I learned the importance of honesty. Like I wouldn't.
Oh,
blame
well,
the
that's
kitchen.
overrated.
No, honesty is so important.
Yes,
like
you're
being
right.
like honesty, integrity. Those things are so important. Like when I'd watch my colleagues like, the kitchen messed up. No, I rang in the wrong order.
That's right. I forgot to
I
ring the
made a
same.
mistake too.
Yeah.
I didn't ring in your food at all.
Yeah.
They appreciated my honesty.
Yeah,
and
I blew it.
They
Yeah,
were
I blew
still
it.
hungry, but
Yeah.
But they knew you were
I
an
learned
honest
the
person.
importance of, like,
It is
not
so
doing it.
hard. It's so hard to be mad at somebody who's honest. Right? When somebody,
Yes.
like, I mean, I see this in sporting events when an
Yeah.
official, like, you know, I sit right next to the UT's coaches during the basketball games, and when they yell at an official and say, "You messed that up," and the ref goes, "Yes, I did."
I blew it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's over.
It's relatable.
Right. It's,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
make mistakes
But
every day. I
you
fail
come-
every day. I
yes.
fall short every
You
day.
come to the table and say, "I am so sorry. I did not even bring your food in."
Yes.
Yeah. I don't even work here.
I don't.
No, it's true.
I don't know how to
though.
respond to that. But,
I just
but
came
you
for the
push
endless
back.
shrimp.
But you tell me the kitchen screwed up. We got slammed. We didn't expect it. We're understaffed. Give me all these excuses. I'm still mad, and I'm
Yes.
still looking for a
Also,
resolution.
as an adult in the world, the last thing I need more of is someone blaming someone else.
Correct.
That I get
Yeah.
enough of that through my cellular device, through my television, at pray tell at work as well. Like the last thing I want to do is for someone to tell me why someone else is an idiot.
Yeah.
Correct.
Like that does nothing for me.
Right. Or I typed in the order and forgot. I thought I hit send and I didn't.
But that's not.
There's
That's
a
not.
there's a funny thing about you typing something in inaccurately,
Right.
based on your.
I think you're really fast at it. Right,
Yeah,
right.
it's wrong, but it
It's
is
wrong.
immaculately typed.
It was really typed. It was typed so well. But I
That's
hit
right.
the wrong.
And fast.
And fast.
It's not right, but
But you would be surprised how quickly it happens.
where do you think that, like, you know, honesty and that, like, you know, rawness comes from? Because that's, you know, self-preservation is sort of a natural resting
Yes.
place, and so the idea of deflecting
Oddly
blame
great
to
question.
somebody else is sort of innate to us as human beings.
Yes.
But where did you get this idea of, I mean, at a young age,
Yeah.
saying, "I'm going to own this"?
I think it was like fear. I think being the oldest sibling, I took responsibility for a lot of things in general.
Sure.
And then I saw people like, and I'm accidentally private. Like the fact that you asked about my siblings, people have known me for years and don't even know. I'll have this conversation with people like, hey, do you have any siblings? I'm like, crap, I did it again. It's not on purpose. Right? It's just I don't want to sit there and talk about myself, so I typically
Sure.
don't. And so I think
and we're sure that she's an extrovert.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
Could be a
So-
nice mix.
Yeah, right. Please go ahead.
oh gosh.
Yeah, I'm on your side.
It's like
Apparently.
it's like a mix between a sweater and a scarf.
Yeah,
Correct,
right, which doesn't
right?
exist.
This keeps on giving. This
And it
sweater
does.
Yeah.
keeps on
It's a
giving.
great sweater.
Giving content.
You are so fashionable. It's so cool. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, now I can see why you brought your buddy on. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I see.
You were going to bring me on? Is that
Yeah.
what
Covered
we're
all of our
saying?
notes. Our
Yeah, it
predetermined
is
notes.
funny. I mean, first of all, we love.
Either any of you could have brought her on, right?
Yeah, thanks for interrupting. That's right. But I bet you were on. We have a list of people, right? So you were certainly on my list as well.
Oh, really?
So
Well, to Raina's credit, I made a list because I
I'm
have
going to
four
finish my
shows.
story as soon as she's done.
I
So
have
go
like
ahead.
4 shows so far scheduled.
Yeah.
And I had Raina scheduled. I was booking her for like my April show.
Mm-hmm.
And the person I had scheduled for today has norovirus.
Yeah.
And so I literally just called this sweet person on Friday and was like, "Can you please come? Can you?"
And
please
I was
come?"
like,
Wait a minute, you
Martin
guys
Luther
give your
King
people
Day?
more
You
than
want
a
me
few-
to wake up early?
She's so
Ma'am,
racist.
What?
Yeah.
I was like,
She's a racist.
I was like, you better be glad I love y'all because that is the
Yeah.
only reason why I said yes.
She's like, "What podcast? What are
That's
you
right.
talking about?"
Gretchen doesn't see color or, compassion.
Oh my gosh.
That's
Yeah.
why she's wearing all gray. today.
Great, because
Yeah, she's just a
Grayscale.
thoughtless.
Grayscale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
I thought this was black.
Yeah. Yeah, it's called a scale for a reason.
Oh, man.
Yeah, just spit it out. That's okay.
And this is our final episode here on the
It was
400
nice
Yeah.
working with you all.
Let's give a practical a tip to our listener. Okay, so you do mediation.
For the first time ever.
You did them at juvenile court. You do them for the Human Relations Commission. What is as a mediator?
Yes.
What's like a tell? Like when do you know that you're gonna be able to, work out whatever it is between the parties? Give us some tips on mediation.
I think in general, one, actually listening to what people actually care about, and it might take a while
it'll
to
waste
get
of time.
there, right?
Yeah.
Because some people they want to, and some people want to tell their whole story, regardless.
Interrupt other people's stories, talk over them,
Yes.
wear a gray sweater.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so true. I mean, it is. It's so wide. That's the reality. Some people really want to feel heard. If you get back to that,
Yeah.
and you kind of find some type of common ground.
Yeah.
And
I like that.
And one of the mediation trainings I listened to early on, and I was sitting there, and they're like, "Yeah, you have to let them make their own agreement," and I'm like, "Whatever."
Yeah.
And
How
then I
fucking
thought-
long is that going to take?
Exactly,
Yeah,
but the
right.
reality, people want to own what they want to
Yeah.
have control
Yeah.
over their own destiny. Like if someone's arguing over why are you parking in front of my house? That was some of the City of Toledo stuff, right?
Sure.
And that's like a different type of mediation. Juvenile court mediation was like court ordered. People coming to City of Toledo mediation, it's not like
Volunteer, right.
Yeah, it's voluntary, and so. People having control, people wanting to share, and people learning what the other person's perspective is absolutely wild. Like, oh, I thought you were doing that because
That's right.
X, Y, and Z.
I never thought about this from your perspective.
Correct.
Yeah, right.
They just make assumptions.
Correct.
Yeah.
We make our
We're
own
all guilty of that.
narratives.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've all done it.
I was just telling somebody, talking to somebody this weekend, just about political differences.
Here
and
he
everything
said
else.
he was telling someone he wasn't listening.
Wasn't listening.
That's right, I
Right.
wasn't.
Yeah. Wow.
But this idea that everyone's right.
Yes.
Right? Everybody is
Yeah.
correct
That-
from where they sit.
Mm-hmm.
And if we would spend more time trying to figure out where are you sitting, what are you seeing, rather than, no, I know this, and I'm right here, and you're wrong. It's like, no, both of us are right from exactly where we're sitting.
In
And
the
we
last calendar year, Kevin, to that exact point, I can remember saying out loud when there were some fairly challenging things, it's like the problem is everyone is right. They were all right.
Yeah.
Certainly from their perspective, they were all right. And then what to do with it? It took me all year to figure out sort of that saying or that could be true.
Yes.
Right? It'd be easy if somebody was just wrong.
Yes.
And I'm like, we'll get there, right? But the truth is that is like most things in adulthood, which makes this the albatross that we all bear. It's all in the middle.
Yeah.
How hard is it for you, going into a mediation and sort of staying neutral, right? Not
yeah.
saying like, hey, if I'm here trying to mediate between Matt and Gretchen, naturally I like Matt better. And
That's just good sense.
Yeah.
It is.
You should. I mean, you
But-
can't say that out loud, right? As a mediator,
that
you're
was-
not
You know
supposed
you're
to-
Oh,
right.
gotcha. See, that's why I don't do
He's
this.
making the mistake
Exactly.
already.
Already,
Yeah.
you're like, I'm just going to let you know, I'm an unbiased,
does save-
wink, wink, third party.
But she's a bitch.
All right.
Right.
I hate
Or
the cape.
Yeah. No reason to put. You don't have to put it in quotes.
Right.
It's a cape.
It's not a cape.
Sure. That's why.
All right, it doesn't go full back.
Yeah.
From my
touch
perspective,
If I had $1.
Don't touch my sweater.
Yeah.
If I had $1.
so what do you,
You can't drink during this anymore.
Apparently not.
You should drink before I do.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, I come pretty
missed
hammered to
out.
these.
I
Yeah.
missed out.
what are your sort of tactics to go into those conversations, like to stay neutral or to challenge your own, natural beliefs, to say
Yeah.
like, oh, I like this person, they
And
must
just-
be right.
It's
And to
natural.
stay
It is
plugged in,
natural.
right?
Yeah.
After a while, too, if there's
'Cause
such an
I'm-
insipid topic, you're
Yeah.
like, God damn it.
And I'm naturally more likable than other people.
Naturally, right?
Yes, and it's just,
Obviously.
This isn't about
I
you,
can't
Oh, so
Gretchen.
you're doing it
help
right now.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
right? I'm
yeah.
so sorry.
Yeah, I don't
Right?
believe what you're saying to be true, but I'm going to
Right,
listen.
right.
Beautiful, right? I think I try to take that skill even if I'm representing someone on a one-on-one level. I try to look at, I'm saying like bird's eye view.
Yeah.
I try to like look at situations from a practical standpoint. Like you said, everyone's right, but what makes sense? Like what does the law say? What does outside perspective say? It can, because when listening to someone's story, right, you can read someone makes a Facebook post and you're like inclined to go, oh my gosh. And then like you can't listen to one perspective
Right.
and respond. And we see
Right.
it all the time. We'll
That's
see
the
social media
downside of
does it.
yeah. It's
Yeah, you
terrible.
see someone
What's the
make
upside?
a sentence and then the response to that sentence could be like 8 paragraphs long. You have no idea what the other perspective
Right.
is or like the real perspectives, the right side, your side, the other person's side, and the truth. I think those are all like what the reality is. I think that's what the court of law is supposed to determine, like what the truth is
Yeah.
after listening to at least two sides. I try to once I feel myself like thinking one way or the other, like or leaning one way or the other, I kind of like fall back. I might even take a break. Like,
Sure.
hey, I need to evaluate. I might ask the side I don't agree with some more questions.
Yeah.
To try to figure that out. And ultimately, I have to tell myself what I think and what I feel is likely not relevant. It's
Yeah.
not important here.
Ask you, do you feel, let me fumble through how I want to ask this, but do you feel somewhat burdened by this in your day-to-day life? Meaning you're a human being and you have interactions with your siblings or partners or whomever, and you're like, I don't feel like being fair. This is, take out all
Yes.
daytime mediator skill sets. Like, I don't feel like listening to your side of it. I'm hurt, or I'm tired, or I'm sick of this.
Yes.
How do you manage that? Do you like, okay, there's a process here, but I'm tired. I don't feel like going through the process.
Correct.
What is that? What is daytime and real life person? How do you vacillate between the two for mediation in your personal life?
So I find myself explaining to people that I'm a human being and a person with feelings.
I bet
and
that takes a
thought.
lot of time to explain to people.
It does.
Based on your personality.
It really does.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm exhausted. Like, I'm exhausted. I'm like, hi, I know you're busy, but then why did you keep talking?
Yeah.
You just said, you acknowledged that I'm busy and said,
Right.
anyway.
I'm also going to suck the energy from you.
Correct.
Yeah.
Can you listen to my problem from start to finish?
Yeah. And I'm only going to take what you say if I agree
If
with
I
it being
agree
on my
with what
side.
you're saying,
Yes,
right? And
yeah.
and oftentimes what I'm saying isn't like rainbows and butterflies. It might be like
Yeah.
that is
Ooh, I
or it
love
might just be
rainbows and
you're
butterflies.
wrong.
Yeah, right.
You are
Or
wrong.
even worse, the other person has a leg to stand on, and they're like, okay, goodbye.
beyond right.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I actually
But those
believe
are
with the
three
whatever.
very different roles. You as Raina
The
Dawson,
rainbows and
person-
butterflies were not roles.
Oh,
No,
definitely.
but
You get that.
your response
Yeah.
would depend on: are you acting as this person's attorney? Are you acting as
Right.
a mediator, or are you just a human person in the world?
The buddy.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's a lot of
Different
shifting.
hats.
Yeah.
I'm
Different
always
hats,
curious,
which
though.
I'm sure you understand as
She
well.
doesn't
All of you
understand.
understand, right?
The-
People don't care when they walk up to you, see you at a party. They might be like, "Anyway, Gretchen,
Now, what
can
does
you
a
whatever?"
party? I don't know what.
Yes, you know what a party is.
Yeah.
Gosh.
From inside the
But you know what I
inside the
mean,
window.
right? They
Yeah,
don't-
yeah.
People
She
don't
doesn't.
care.
They don't.
They don't. People don't.
And that's
people,
okay.
People care about what they can get out of you, and
that's
so
okay.
I appreciate the people that actually care about me as a person, and
Right.
or actually acknowledge that you care about, like you all care about other people.
Yeah.
Right beyond what they can get from you or you
Sure.
can get from them. It's
Yeah.
a beautiful, beautiful thing.
And then how do you still care? If you acknowledge that most people in our world only care about what they can get or what's for them.
Do you feel like that's
Some
true of
people,
most?
I think
No,
a good
I do.
portion.
You feel like most.
Yeah. So
Most people are self-motivated.
And that's why I don't
I
take it
think.
personally. Well, oftentimes when people are mean to me or
Yeah.
don't call me back or whatever, because we're all trying to make it. Oh, such and such is acting funny. No, they are not.
Yeah.
They must be drowning.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, sure.
Right,
I don't
right,
take
right,
it personally when people are angry. I don't take it personally when people are or whatever. Like I've hosted
It's
clinics and
rarely
people have
about
been
you.
mean to me. It's not about me.
not about you.
Well, people are not thinking about me. They're thinking
Yeah.
about their own family.
That's
They're
right.
thinking
Now,
about
if your brother does it, it's probably about you. But like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
the people that we interact with, certainly people we interact with professionally or in community-based things, it's just
yes.
rarely about you.
Yeah, and
Yes.
Gretchen, I know that you're a champion of this, and you never get your feelings hurt.
Never.
Yeah.
I am.
So I can
yeah.
definitely say that
Yeah.
you have always been.
This is a mantra. Is what I
You-
say.
Oh
and
my
you've-
gosh.
She's been living this way, for over a decade that I've known
No,
her.
and professional
Every
hurt is
morning
really
staring
real.
into the mirror.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm good enough. I'm smart
I'm
enough.
a
Yeah.
sort of a beacon of mental health in this way.
Yeah.
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 So it's totally fine.
Yeah.
What do you
Not
think?
beacon in the general definition that you
Yeah.
were.
Rainbows and butterflies.
Yeah. Like a sort of a tower standing by itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. That kind of a beacon.
What,
That bird smash into.
Sweater.
with all of your
Well,
community
knowledge.
involvement and as I said, working as a young professional, you've been practicing for 4
Why do we keep calling you
years now?
young? How old
Because
are
she
you?
is
I'm
young.
36.
Yes, that is young.
Compared to
Yes.
you, she is.
Yes.
Why do we keep
Jesus.
calling you
What do
young?
you
I don't.
think?
Well, I just thought we should
what's
say.
something Toledo needs? What is something Toledo's missing? What is something that if you could, no budget, you could just snap your fingers and Toledo would have it.
Please
Oh,
don't
no,
say
you
a better park system.
I will not say better park system.
Thank
Our
you.
park system rocks.
And please don't say a Trader Joe's.
Ooh. We have a,
The next question.
fine. No.
We should ask her questions and then tell her how she's supposed to
Yeah,
answer
exactly.
Here's what you
them.
can't say. What is it? Go.
Tell us. All right. Tell us which one of the three of us is your favorite, and it can't be Matt or Gretchen.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah, the good news is it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. No, one we need actual like basketball courts for young people.
Yeah, okay.
We need places where young people can go
Do
play.
this stuff. Yeah.
Right? Like I know that there are spaces like country clubs, et cetera, YMCA's, I get that, but we need actual, like when I saw the pickleball thing pop up, and pickleball has existed for about 43 minutes total, when now we have like this big pickleball court coming up, it kind of hurt my heart. Because ever since I was a child, I've seen people ask for places to play basketball safely and play sports safely. And then they're like, well, we need pickleball because it's going to attract investors. And I get that. I know that. I understand that. I get it. However, that means one of these buildings could have been turned into a haven for youth to play basketball, because we've got bad policies, right, make for like increased crime. So one of the things I learned while mediating is we changed our policy. TPS changed the policy to buses for every student to, if you live further than 1 mile away, you're not able to catch a bus. Children are not going to go, I'm going to walk a mile to school every day. They didn't. They left home, and they went around and they did what they wanted to do until school was over.
Too many just other things to do. in
Right?
That mile, yeah.
And then they're like, great, you know what we need? We need a mediation program because children are missing school.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand that at the time, but like a year in, I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
We don't need a mediation program. They need transportation. They need clothes that fit,
Sure.
right? And that's one of the things I discovered while mediating is a lot of these students didn't have like regular things.
Sure.
The parents are like, I'm at work, so I can't take my kids to school, and you took the bus route away from me. Now my kids are supposed to walk to school.
Yeah.
And many people are like, I don't want my children walking through the rain. And after you've walked to school in the rain and your clothes are musty and gross and disgusting, you want me to sit down without the materials I need? No. So I think that we need more policies, and we're working on, I know everyone's working on it, more policies that are actually practical for people that are using them like every day, daily.
People in the room that know to make those decisions.
Correct.
So
Yes.
as one of the people who brought the pickleball project to fruition,
Yes.
I can tell you that, first of all, from a park system standpoint, totally agree. In order to get to that new rec component, though, we do need to bring things for, and I'm sure you'll agree with this, everybody, right? So the pickleball, which I've only played one time, so I'm not a champion of the rec, but it's been around for almost 30 years. It's something for seniors specifically to be able to do, and one of the byproducts of COVID was sort of indicated there was not a lot of things for seniors to do.
Yeah.
And in Vistula in particular, we had this building that we were going to demo, and we needed an anchor. And it isn't just about providing private investment, which it certainly does, but we need to have something then to build on that and create other things. So
Yes.
basketball courts, to your point, are in the works, if not in Vistula, potentially in International Park. And we talked about sort of the back area there, which is that old concrete parking lot,
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
which is used or filled maybe a couple times a year for fireworks or some other large-scale event.
Right.
Yes.
Other than that, it's basically just a place for
It
bad
is.
things to occur.
Right.
Because
Yes.
if you don't program
You
it,
could
it
paint
will,
some super cool.
it will program
courts back
itself.
there. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So total agreement from a parks perspective. We don't necessarily care more or less about pickleball either, although people do it of all ages. Basketball is on its way, and we couldn't agree more with that statement.
But it's interesting, like, as you're talking about this and you started to paint this picture of an indoor, like, at least I took it as
Yes.
this indoor basketball complex that
Right.
I'm like, I don't know how we would maintain that, right? I don't know who would, if it was open to the public. But then I think about other communities and other, you think about small towns outside other big cities, but the reality is those small towns are the same size we are.
So Cedar Point built a multi-use rec space that has I don't want to say mostly basketball, but it is a large basketball footprint and a lot of other programmatic areas in it. So that is first of all, Sandusky has a theme park, which we're all aware of, but their government, to simplify it, has worked really effectively to make space for everyone and approachable and check boxes for interest as well. And Sandusky, other than Cedar Point, does not have anything on us, right? They're not
Right.
flourishing economically.
Yes.
They don't have a diverse population.
Correct.
They have the same automotive and other things have left, and they've been able to capitalize on leadership there for things just like that. So I would
Yeah.
encourage anyone to look at Cedar Point Rec Center. It is a brick and mortar, which we as a park system do try to avoid, admittedly, but it does, and we need a 365. So the same thing as you said within a mile. If you don't give people something to do within the mile, they will find it to do.
Yes.
Well, I mean, Rossford has their, and I haven't been inside their facility, but I think that's
Right.
open to the community.
That's-
Their athletic
Yes,
complex.
Yes, yep, yeah.
And this was not a dig at Metro Parks.
No, I didn't take that. Well, first of all,
No way.
But to your point,
Well,
I'm glad you said that because it's, if you were asking, many people should know. I didn't take it that way at all. I mean, I work for you. And
I know.
I work for, oh my God. And we work for our youth, right? So, and it's not just the actual things that could happen within that mile, to your good example. It's the amount of bullshit that people think that can happen because of Facebook comments and things like that. There's X amount of predatory activity now next door, as if there's more danger, more violence than there has been historically, when the reality is,
There's less.
yeah,
Yeah.
or
So-
at minimum the same.
Right.
It's the same place. And go ahead.
So your career has been focused on, helping people that, maybe the system is against, or maybe them.
It doesn't work for her, at
It
least.
doesn't, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm always interested in, and I give ProMedica some credit for bringing this like social determinants conversation, that phraseology to Toledo. But I'm always interested in like, well, then where do we start, right? So if you're saying, hey, I need to get kids to school.
Yes.
Well, okay, to get kids to school, we need transportation.
Yes.
We need them to eat. We
Yes.
need,
Yeah.
for them to eat, I need their parents to have a job. I
Correct.
need them to be able to stay in their home. For them to stay in their home, I need the parents to have a job.
Yes.
I need transportation. I need so all of these things all have to work together.
They do.
And I don't know that, we've proven as a community that either we can't or we aren't interested in doing all the things to make that happen.
Right.
But what's the first thing? What's the thing that you look at in the community and say, you know what, this is fixable, and we should fix this right now?
Oh, that's difficult. That's a heavy one because there are so many
Yeah.
moving pieces.
And
I would
interrelated, but
Yes, they
yeah.
are. Yeah, interrelated 100%. I would say livable, affordable housing, and the term affordable is
Yes.
so
Complicated.
complicated.
Yeah.
And so, like, what do you mean? Do you mean affordable house? Like, do you mean you want senior citizens to be able to stay in their homes?
That's right.
After they've already paid their homes off and the taxes have increased
And
so
the new
much to where they
vernacular is like
can't.
workforce affordable. There's a new vernacular that's been passed.
Yes, is it like,
Yeah.
are people being paid enough to actually afford the
That's
rent
right.
that they're
That's right.
paying, right? Or, the mortgages have gone up. Because people will say, okay, well, if you're paying a mortgage, then it'd be a step, wait, well, if your taxes have gone up so much, then your mortgage has gone up as well, right? I have to say, if we actually had a nice amount of accessible housing,
Yeah.
affordable, clean housing, people have talked to me. Doing this work, one of the housing clinics, someone brought a Ziploc bag of dead bugs to me. And I was like, excuse me? And he said, I want you to understand what I'm living with. And oftentimes when people are telling me things about their living situations, they are frozen. They're so traumatic. They're frozen. People are living out of boxes, and they're walking around us every day acting
Yeah,
like
yes.
everything's okay.
Yeah.
And it's not okay.
Right.
Right? So
And your tire example is true of this too.
Yes.
One of the problems with it is people cannot relate with this.
right.
That this wouldn't be just a given.
Yes.
Right.
They're like, oh my gosh, well, all I got to do is get another tire. Well, you're late to work. And
Or all you gotta do is find someplace else to live.
Yes.
Just leave.
Yes,
Just leave.
and
What's
so,
the big deal?
like-
Plenty of
Go find
apartments.
someplace.
yes, when people were like,
Yeah.
oh, people are too lazy to work, I've posted
right.
my job 8 times. I'm like, but you also have a policy that if you're late 3 times, you're fired, right? You're employing people that might not be
You
on
posted this in
time
the
to
Blade.
work. Right.
Only.
Yes.
Right.
You have signs outside. You mean outside on a road of your job that's on a rural road that people without transportation
Right.
aren't ever going to see? That's awesome,
Right.
right? And so, like, again, the bad policy thing. Hi, you want to have a workforce of people that may not be perfect, that might take a week off of work because they're caring for an elderly parent and a sick child simultaneously.
Right.
They might not be there every single day on time every day, right? How do we get more people to work, and how do we get more people to be more flexible? So, to entrepreneurship, we see people turning to that because they might not be able to work every single day on time every day, right? And we see a lot of the entry-level jobs that people are like, yeah, we're hiring. And then they're like, well, actually,
Yeah.
you're late, or you tested positive for marijuana, or you,
You're right.
you
Or
needed
the
to leave
data
early.
suggests that you could work a full-time minimum wage job and still not be able to afford rent.
Yes.
I mean,
Right.
these are
Yes.
very large system problems.
Yes,
Right.
and I've had people like I'm like, let's work this job. You can work here, and they're like, and how am I supposed to get there every day? And so I'm like, Tartar Flex, right?
Yeah.
And sharing with people that Tartar Flex exists, and I've had people angry at me. Like, I have tried to catch Tartar, and they dropped me off like a mile away from my new job, and I was 2 minutes late, and they told me I couldn't work the job because I didn't care. Okay, so how am I supposed to tell that person that their experience doesn't matter? It does matter, right? As someone that's chronically on time, I totally, you know what I mean? But like, no, seriously, my heart breaks because I stopped giving unsolicited advice. I stopped telling people to just get a job.
Yeah.
All you have to do is go to work. All you have to do is this. I stopped doing that. I stopped saying, well, and helping people get like their driver's licenses back was another
Yeah.
eye-opening thing.
Absolutely.
Like, we have laws on the books that, like, and actively working, changing some legislation because there's so many ways. I think we had 69 ways in the state of Ohio. Your license could be suspended at any moment. You have no idea. People have no idea their
And it's
licenses are suspended.
completely insane to have to try to get your driver's license back after
It's
you
a
lose
lot
it.
of yes.
It's very
a lot
expensive
of work
and it's very
time.
complicated.
Yes, it's not like an easy. And Gretchen worked one of the clinics. It was awesome. Thank you again. It just ends up being like I'm grateful for the work that I've done because I have a better understanding. I can share with my colleagues who some of them do not have an understanding at all of what it's like to not know how you're going to heat up your food. Or I have a client that's like, I don't have a microwave and my stove has been broken for a year and a half. What?
Right.
So even if they go to a food bank to get food,
Then what? Right.
Then what?
That's right.
then what? Right?
And I think that's just to sort of, we have to let you go here, but it's sort of back to the social media thing. I mean, that's what's so detrimental about social media, in my opinion, because it's these snap judgments. You don't, your
Which
oven
we're
is,
already
your
inclined to
oven is
want.
your oven is broken. Well, then go get it fixed.
Yeah. What's the deal?
Go move somewhere.
Right.
Put your rent. Do these things.
Put your rent in
But it's
escrow.
not. Those are not
Yeah.
realistic things, and it causes people to be. Well, I'm not paying my taxes to help you do that. I'm not going to do this to do that. I did it. You should do.
Yes.
And it's.
Oh my gosh.
It's so.
I had to pull myself up from
Yeah,
that. Really shut
it's
the
so
fuck.
detrimental. It
Yeah.
really is detrimental because
is.
people could be doing all the right, quote unquote, right things,
And still
working
fall
full
short.
time,
Yeah.
and still not be able to. It's not hard to look up the data on people working full
The
time.
problem, though,
wage.
to harken back to something the two of you said, that people are inherently about themselves, right? So until we start making the case
Right.
for why this person's struggles are yours, people will not plug in, right? You don't think you should give and support your local public school? Well, then you can pay for the rest of the shit that is the decline of the area that you live
Oh
around.
my gosh. And yes, if
So
public
to-
schools aren't very well funded, you can easily see the data. Your
That's
property
right.
values are going to
That's exactly
plummet.
right. So until people start seeing that, hey, the community's problems are going to
your
be your
problems.
problems.
Yes.
And if you live in the city, which we all do, you can have as much fun visiting all the amenities you like in Rossford, Perrysburg, or Slovenia.
Right.
Or you can plug in and make this town the one that we deserve.
Yes.
So
And
let's
as you
end on
do-
a high
yeah.
note. What is something that you do unrelated to community work or organizing or being a lawyer, mindless, something silly? What's something that you like to do at home or anywhere?
I
That's
watch
just fun.
cartoons.
You do?
I watch cartoons. I like going to the movies. I love going to listen to live music. I like almost
What's
any
the best
kind.
movie you've seen the last good one?
Moana 2.
I have not seen Moana 2 yet.
She dies at the end.
I have
It's-
not. I said yet. I saw Mufasa, which I was like, I don't know, but everyone was like, you have to go see it. It was great. And it was really good.
Yeah.
Because I'm not an animal person. That's like my big
Same.
thing.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
these these animals
for
look like
idiots.
animals on here. This is not what I anticipated. But I'll even go to the movies by myself. If I'm
Yeah,
like,
me
I
too. I
can't
love
do
it.
this.
Yeah.
I'm going to go.
I just started that. this
Yes,
year.
and I saw Wicked, which was awesome because I hadn't seen Wicked stage play or anything. And my sister-in-law is like big into like opera. She works in music and does all that stuff, and they were all into it. And I'm just like, well, I don't know what I'm getting into. Whatever, I'll see Wicked. It was great.
It was
Yeah.
so good.
I love that.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
so. I was like, ah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Well,
What cartoons? Like just stuff at home?
Yes.
Bluey.
Oh no.
So good.
Oh my gosh. Should I see Bluey?
No.
I've seen a lot
You
of
have-
memes
Wait.
about
Wait,
Bluey.
wait, wait. You have not. You like cartoons and you haven't watched Bluey?
Isn't Bluey for little kids?
Oh
Yes.
no,
But
Bluey
it
is for
a Hail
everyone.
Mary for adults because of all
Really?
the other crap my kids watch. Bluey is a godsend.
But
It
I
is
think a lot of
amazing.
cartoons, like if you watch Tom and Jerry as an adult, you're
Yeah.
like, crap.
Yeah.
Wait, you're talking like now you're watching Tom and Jerry, or you're doing like The Simpsons and like BoJack Horseman and things like that?
Family Guy.
Family Guy,
Sure.
gotcha.
Because Family Guy's like got a great orchestral. I mean,
Yeah,
their song.
100%.
I mean, it's Christmas time is killing us. I love it. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
it's really, really
No,
good.
that's from Wicked.
I like it. Yeah.
That's from Wicked.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Thank you so much for
Yeah,
being
we
here.
love
It was
you.
delightful to
Thank
talk
you
to
for
you.
having me.
Thank you.
Remember to love your neighbor, right? In order to do that,
Not
you
a
have to
chance.
actually believe their experiences, even though they don't exist to you. To actually love your neighbor is to listen and to believe your neighbor.
That's
That's how
beautiful.
they end it.
All right.
Thank you to Raina Dawson for being our guest on this episode, and thank you for listening to another episode of the 419. We'll be back in like 2 weeks
Yeah.
with another episode.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to our sponsors, WorkSpring and Wetro Wealth Management. Wetro Wealth Management is an independent certified financial advisor. What does that mean? It means that the focus is solely on you, the client, and building a relationship with you. Tim and the team are able to customize your portfolio in a way that reflects your wants and desires for the future. In short, your needs are their priority. We appreciate them making the 419 a priority for how they support the community. So reach out and see if they can help you reach your financial goals. Their website, wetroadvisors.com. That's WHETRO advisors.com. Or you can email them, contact us at wetroadvisors.com. See if they can help, or just reach out and say thank you for supporting the 419.